Hello and welcome to Happy Hour. I'm Dan Patrick along with Keith Olbermann.
And while the feuding Eagles and the feuding Giants brought at least two different teams each to the Meadowlands, there was something missing at Giant Stadium, LT. But we'll have him. He's our Sunday conversation.
But first, a critical AFC showdown by the sea. The Dolphins and the Oilers. If the Dolphins don't go to the Super Bowl this year, they will look back at one game. Last Monday night's loss to Buffalo. Because a win would have given Miami a one-game lead in the East over Buffalo, with their head-to-head sweep as the first tiebreaker. Well, the Dolphins, who still have games at New Orleans and at San Francisco, weren't looking past this week's opponent, the Oilers. Warren Moon, of course, out for a couple more games. Watching Cody Carlson run the run and shoot. Game tied at 16, 4:17 to go. The pump fake and the little screen to Lorenzo White, and Lowe goes for 16. After the 2-minute warning, it's 3rd and 2. Carlson to Leonard Harris, and Leonard will be talking about this one for a couple of days. Carlson can't believe it. He had the game winner. That would leave it up to Al Del Greco. He had missed a 39-yarder earlier this year and a potential game winner against Pittsburgh. From 41 yards out, just like the 39-yarder against the Steelers, it goes wide right. So the game stayed tied at 16. Still plenty of time for Dan Marino as he tries to play beat the clock. Marino. Mark Clayton. Marino. Scrambling. Not exactly fleet of foot for 5 yards. Marino. Clayton again for 12 yards. He would go 5 for 5 on the drive. And then he finds Bobby Humphries. 13 yards. The master of time management. The Miami crowd shows their appreciation, but it's not over with. Pete Stoyanovich. Low Miller may have the strongest leg in the game, but Stoyanovich is not far behind. Nothing but net on this one. 19-16, and Don Shula showing emotion. Stoyanovich had told his lineman, just do your job and I'll get you home. He did. 19-16, the final. He had 4 field goals on the afternoon. This marked the 6th time in Stojanovich's career he has won a game in the final period. Houston has lost 3 of their last 4. Following the game, Don Shula praised the kicker who buried the Oilers.
Needless to say, Pete got a game ball at the end for kicking a 53-yarder through there. But this guy's been doing this for us now since he's been with us. The pressure kicks and coming through when he has to come through.
It was a tough kick, but, you know, like I said, that's the situation, and that's the one I had to make, and I didn't do it. Like I said, all you can do is go out there and do the best you can, and I hit the ball just how I wanted to, and for whatever reason, it didn't go through, and it wasn't meant to be.
It was a game that meant everything to us. We had lost 3 out of our last 4. And we figured that this was a pivotal ball game for us, that we had to have it, and we got it.
With San Francisco and New Orleans coming up in successive weekends, that's why it was a must game. Marino's number is not particularly sharp, 19 of 40 for 237 yards, but the number he's most concerned with, the one at the bottom of the page, he's now entered 22 fourth-quarter comebacks. To Orchard Park for the Bills and Falcons in the Brain Trust, Jim Kelly and his head coach Marv Levy. It's already 7-0 first quarter. Play action. Pete Metzelar's having a tremendous year. Kelly finds the former All-American basketball player, 14-0 Bills. Kelly, Andre Reed, 21-0 Bills. It's 28-0 second quarter when Kenneth Davis, the backup. Kenneth, what is the frequency? He is long gone. He had 181 yards on the day. Kenneth Davis said that the coaches told him during the week, if you get through the linebackers, there's nothing left. He showed it. The one bright spot, Neon Dion. High stepping, down 38-0 in the second half. Somebody needs to tell Dion it only counts for 7, not 38. He still got embarrassed. Jerry Glanville had little to smile about, except for this play. The Bills romp 41-14 next week at Indy. They're 9-2. The Falcons 4-7. Next week, they will have the Patriots at home. Falcon linebacker Tim Green said afterwards, quote, this isn't the true Atlanta Falcons. Games like this and the 49er games are aberrations. The Falcon defense has been in the giving mood for almost every weekend now. They rank last in points allowed, 27 points per contest. Last in yards allowed, 372 per contest. And they have created the fewest turnovers forced, 15. To Giant Stadium for the Eagles and the G-Men. Giants up 10-6. Dave Meggett, who scored 2 touchdowns on the day, takes the kickoff, goes right, goes left, and then will go untouched. Mark McMillan grabs for air. A 92-yard score, the first Giant kickoff return for a score since 1972. Giants went up 17-6. They went up 20-6. And then the comeback starts. Hostetler picked off by Seth Joyner. That's impressive. Even more impressive, he outruns Dave Meggett. 43-yard score. It's 20-13 Giants. Now tied at 20. Ken Rose blocks Sean Landetta's punt, takes it in. The Giants now 27-20 leaders. More Eagles special teams. Vi Sekahema, the All-Pro, hits the sidelines and then goes untouched. Punter Sean Landetta right there. Injured his knee. He may be lost for the rest of the year. 34 unanswered points, and Sekahema literally delivering the knockout blow. The Eagles D teeing off on Jeff Hostetler. Hostetler looking like Sylvester Stallone in those Rocky movies. You just wondered when they were going to take him out of there. Reggie White, who says Superman's dead? Hostetler, he would get up. He should have stayed down. Mike Golick goes right for underneath the chin. And Hostetler suffered a concussion, taken to the hospital for precautionary measures. 11 of 28, 154 yards, 1 TD, 1 INT. It was not pretty at all if you're a Giants fan, but then you're getting used to this picture. 47-34, the 47 points, the most scored against the Giants defense since the Redskins put up a 49 spot back in 1975. Ray Hanley didn't bother to answer questions after giving an injury report and his assessment of the game.
Special teams was a critical thing that put us so far behind that we were unable to catch up, and that's a lack of discipline on those teams, and that's my responsibility. So I'll accept responsibility for the loss here today.
I've been asking God for the last 3 weeks to let me make some big plays, and I figure if you ask him too much, you get on his nerves, and he'll finally hear you. So I think I got on his nerves today.
I just thought it'd be apropos to go in there and work the bag a little bit and show that if everything falls apart, I've got something I can fall back on. That definitely was left hook and did a little damage.
I think the Giants will remember that highlight. The victory was the 350th in franchise history for the Eagles and 8th in their last 9 meetings with the Giants. Eagles cornerback Eric Allen said it's like it keeps the mental block for them alive. It's like, man, here we go again. They score 34 points and still can't beat us. To Tempe, man. For the Cards and Cowboys, Jimmy Johnson not happy after last week's performance against the Rams. Didn't like this either. Chris Chandler, Larry Centers, and the celebration dance at no extra cost. 7-0. Bad news for the Cards, though. Chris Chandler hit by Jim Jeffcoat. He would come out with a rib injury. Tim Rosenbaugh buttons up his chin strap. He's familiar with injuries, watching another quarterback be carted off the 4th time this year. Michael Irvin was constantly being double-teamed, so Aikman finds Alvin Harper for 14. Cards led at 7-3 in the first. Jay Novacek finds the hole in the Phoenix zone. It's 10-7 Cowboys at the break. 3rd quarter, Aikman, Harper, great spin move, gone. 38-yard score. Cowboys blew the extra point. It didn't matter. Wait, it's not an official score until Tony Casillas says it is. Okay. Cowboys squeak by, winning it 16-10. This marked the 6th time they have moved to Phoenix that the Cards have lost in front of a crowd of at least 50,000. Sunday's game drew 72,000 to Anaheim. For the Rams and the Niners, Niners up 10-0 3rd quarter. Jim Everett to Henry Ellard. Shades of yesteryear. 31-yard score, and the melon heads out in full force. It's now 10-7 Niners. It was 13-10 Niners, and the Niners turn to Jerry Rice. Steve Young, 42-yard score, 99th career touchdown catch, gives the Niners a 20-10 lead. Ricky Waters. Waters, the 2nd-year pro, didn't play at all last year due to the broken ankle and looking like Chuck Foreman there. Then it's Waters. Great power, grace, and then the strength here. He would have 163 yards, including 4 here, to seal the deal. The 2 scores, the Niners win it 27-10. They host the Eagles next week. The Rams, they will be at home against the Vikings. San Francisco has now won 6 in a row at Anaheim. The Niners improving to 9-2 thanks to Waters, Rice, and the rest of that company on defense.
If life had turned out a little differently, Tommy Maddox would still have been playing in Southern California this weekend, but not on Sunday, on Saturday, and not at the LA Coliseum, but at the Rose Bowl. UCLA, which Maddox left a year early for the Denver Broncos, upset USC. It was clear that the Tommy would have had more fun against the Trojans than he did against the Raiders. For the Broncos, it was not Tommy Maddox, but Appa Maddox. Total surrender from the opening quarter. Check out Mark Jackson here. This is a technical error. He never looks for the football. Always look for the football. Terry McDaniel, he looked for the football. Look for the football. Terry, 64 yards back to the 2. And then the other ex-UCLA quarterback in this game, Jay Schrader, having his own collegiate flashback. with a quickie to Andrew Glover. It's 10-zip Raiders. 33 seconds till halftime now. Just killing the clock, right? No way. To a wide-open Tim Brown. 17-zip Raiders. Reminds you of the old silver and black. It should have. Schrader even to the long-forgotten Marcus Allen. He can still do it. And so, at least for one day, could Schrader. 16 of 30 for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the Bronco juggernaut is suddenly cut down to size. They're 7-4, and Elway, who could barely lift his arm at practice Friday, is still unclear for next Monday at Seattle. If they only played home games, the Broncos would have it in the bag. They've scored 139 points in 6 games at Mile High, 36 in 5 on the road, and they are allowing 6 more points per road game than per home. Elsewhere at San Diego, Vinny Testaverde's either praying or he knows what's coming, and he's trying to make it easier for the Chargers. The other team's quarterback must go down, and he must go down 6 times. That was Mims. This is Blaze Winter. Here is Junior Seau. Coming up, Bert Grossman with Mims. He was nailed by everybody in San Diego except Dennis Conner. Mims again. Then a free Testaverde piggyback ride. 3 sacks for Mims, 6 for Vinny. Want some offense? After a safety, the Bucs pay the ultimate price. Nate Lewis takes the free kick and goes 62 yards to set up a John Don't Call Me Art Carney field goal. On the sideline, Sam I am, but I am not happy. The Bolts had this one wrapped by halftime. Ronnie Harmon sneaks in from 6 out. Chargers lead 22-7 for Bobby Ross. Harmon scores twice, both from his customary slot at 3rd down. Chargers are 6-5, above water for the first time since 1987. They're also on a 6-7 run after the 0-4 start, and, well, they're charging. So here's the state of play in the AFC West. The Raiders are in trouble, judging by the record of their remaining opponents. Denver and Kansas City both have some marshmallows ahead. Broncos get Seattle twice, but also the Cowboys, the Bills, the Chiefs. The Chiefs get the Jets, Raiders, Pats, Giants, and Denver. San Diego sees only the Raiders twice, Cincy, Phoenix, and they finish at Seattle. In Pittsburgh, Bubby Brister filling in for Neil O'Donnell. Neil O'Donohue is still retired. Barry Foster is anything but retired. He was as stellar as ever. Handoff out of the draw. Colts try to slap tackle him. A couple of times, he goes the distance, 20 yards. It'll be 13-zip Steelers at the half. Bang, bang. The Colts are dead. Jack Trudeau starting with Jeff George still out with the broken bone in the hand. And Jack has one, at least for his personal highlight tape. Jesse Hester out of traffic for an 81-yard pass play to the 4. Rodney Culver would then pay it off with the touch. But how could the Steelers ice this game? Ask Mr. Foster. Off Bubby's handoff, 13 yards. Barry scores twice, including the sealant, 148 yards in the day. Steelers 30, Colts 14. Steelers up by 2 in the AFC Central. Foster has just relegated Franco Harris to 2nd place in the Steeler list of most 100-yard games in a season. Foster has 8, Franco has 7, 30 more yards all season, and Foster also breaks Harris's yardage mark of 1-2-4-6, set 17 seasons ago. At the Metrodome, decisions. Bill Belichick would face one for the Browns. Tomczak puts him up 13-zip in the second. Terry Taylor makes it worse, intercepts Rich Gannon. Then Tomczak goes sour. Up 13-3, he's picked off for a second time by Audrey McMillan. And Belichick would have to change quarterbacks. And so would Dennis Green. Former LA TV sports intern Sean Salisbury stakes them to a score to Joe Johnson. Not kidding, Minnesota -3. 9:05 to play. Todd Philcox in for Tomczak through Mark Bavaro's hands to who else? McMillan. 3 intercepts and a touchdown. And Belichick's next decision, how do you answer criticism for pulling Tomczak? The rarest of all possible results, both starting quarterbacks benched. But Tomczak was 15 for 24 when Belichick put in Philcox, who was only 3 for 7 for Cleveland.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, who proudly brings you Family Talk. Let's stop underage drinking before it starts.
Still to come, the coach and the Bears are de Pitts again against the Packers, and Barry breaks out against the Bengals. We'll have more NFL highlights. In our Sunday conversation, LT talks to TJ about his place in history.
I've done all that there is to do as a defensive player, and I'm very proud of myself.
College football, a romp in the snow will assure fun in the sun for Washington State. In the NBA, Michael and Charles meet in a duel in the sun. Plus, we'll take a sneak trailer preview at the plays of the week. Stay with us.
This score hasn't changed a bit.
Jimmy Harris, welcome back.
Seen Coach Green lately?
I never thought that man would retire.
He used to say, Harris, tackling is like life. Hit it head on.
Harris.
Coach Green. Coach Harris.
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
So, you got any advice? Harris, coaching is like life. Hit it head on.
The tingle feels like it's taking away the dandruff. That's me taking the Denorex shampoo test. I love that tingle. It convinced me to switch from Head & Shoulders to Denorex.
Denorex with conditioners. The dandruff shampoo you can feel working.
I'm a Denorex guy now.
Everybody wants a battery that goes the distance, but you never know when they're about to run out of gas. Only Duracell has the Copper Top Battery Tester, so you can be sure your batteries will keep going down the road. You can't top the Copper Top.
The Acura Legend was ranked best overall model at 3 years ownership in the J.D. Power & Associates Vehicle Performance Study. In other research, the Legend also retained more value than any car in its class, while costing less than its competitors. All of which raises the question, why outspend your neighbors when you can outsmart them instead?
Tonight's analysis is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance.
Welcome back to SportsCenter. Coming into Sunday's game with the Chiefs, Seattle was on pace to eclipse the 1991 Colts record of fewest points in a 16-game season.
14 kickers and 2 running backs started their Sunday with more points than the Seahawks. Here with the point counterpoint of tonight's game is Chris Berman.
Sunday Night Football on ESPN. The Kansas City Chiefs were hoping to at least grab a share of the lead in the AFC West with Denver losing earlier. Standing in their way, kind of, the Seattle Seahawks at the Kingdom. And in Seattle, they said hello to an old friend. For 12 years, David Craig, quarterback Seahawks. Now, they love him, but he's quarterback of the Chiefs. Barry, never a discouraging word. Up the middle and he rumbles for 45 yards. Chiefs lead at 7-0 early. Seattle, rarely in the end zone. But look at Kelly Stauffer to Tommy Citizen Kane. 25 yards. Seahawks offense outscored the Chiefs 14-10 today. But Tom Flores has seen this before. When you can't do it offensively, you hope your special teams and defense does the job. Defense did, special teams did not. Dale Carter, 87 yards. Second touchdown of the year for this Kansas City rookie. And it was the Chiefs by 10. The Seahawks 24-14, RIP. Well, maybe, and with the Patriots winning, that means that the Seahawks are by their lonesome steamrolling toward that first draft pick. By his lonesome in the Kingdom, Joe Theismann, of course, called the game with Mike Patrick this evening. And Joe, you saw Denver look very good last week. You saw Kansas City look okay today. You're going to see San Diego and the Raiders next week. Do you have a call here with 5 games to go in the AFC West? Does one team stick out? Is there something one team can do to win it?
Well, I think, Chris, one team that sticks out in my mind is definitely got to be the San Diego Chargers. They're in a situation where they're the only team that is not or will not have to play the NFC East, which, given, is probably the toughest division in football. So they catch a break there. They don't play a team over 500 with a remaining record. I like the Chiefs. I like the job that Bill Arnsparger has done defensively, and I think that's where you win in December and November and December. You win with defense. You win running the football. Those are 2 things the Chargers do well. Of course, Marty's got to hang on with Kansas City, and Dan in Denver's got to get John back, and Marty's just got to hang on for that last game when Denver and Kansas City play. And if those 2 teams aren't careful, all they have to do is look over their shoulder, and they're going to see the Los Angeles Raiders just slowly moving along. If somebody stumbles, they have the opportunity to pick it up. Jay Schrader looks like he's settling in, making good decisions and good throws. So the whole AFC West is wide open. But right now, because of the record, I think San Diego might just have a little bit of an edge in that 4-man race.
Yep, they've got the easiest schedule left, although a big test for them will be next week. Tell you what, go get yourself some Dungeness crab, will you?
I'll do that, and I'll see you later.
All right, Joe, you got my address. Send me the leftovers, will you?
I will.
All right, next week, Joe and Mike stay in the AFC West. The annual ESPN Bowl. It's the Raiders against the Chargers from the Murph. at 8 Eastern Time next Sunday, Raiders and the Chargers. But that's next week. We may have the ESPN Bowl every year, the Raiders and the Chargers, but there are no two teams in professional football that have played more than the Packers and the Bears. We bring back Mr. Olbermann.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. The continued safety of the citizens of Chicago almost demands that someone attach a warning label to Bears coach Mike Ditka. After what the Packers did at Soldier Field, Ditka should not be exposed to open flame. He may explode. Heavy atmosphere at Soldier Field, 7 Gs. Bears scored first on a field goal, and the Pack tied it. Then check this. Brett Favre had a month to locate Sterling Sharp. He had time to check the satellite photos. 49 yards. Meanwhile, trouble for the Bears strike replacement team. Well, that would explain it, wouldn't it, if I'd been able to say it. Harbaugh batted down off his receiver's hands, plain old dropped. 8 for 18, 97, and an intercept. Packers just rubbed it in. Fourth quarter, and Favre goes right up Broadway as his own self. 5 yards with a touch, 70-3, and on the sidelines, get out of here, the tanks are going to blow, run for your lives. Last month at Curly Sue Lambeau Field, the Bears rushed for 130 yards, and this one 54 yards. Why not? Green Bay held the ball for 13 minutes in the third quarter. Bears have lost 4 straight, and whose fault is it? Of course, it's the fault of the fans.
Sake of the fans, I'm fed up with them. Bunch just want to be, I mean, they're just for fair weather fans. They don't care, you know, if we lose, they're not behind us. They leave halfway through the game. You sit in the sidelines, they ridicule everybody. It's pathetic.
Just remember, Stan, it's probably mutual. Chicago may not have seen such a football disappointment since the Cardinals moved to St. Louis, whereas even in Ditka's early days, they were always stronger in the first half than the second. The discrepancy between start and finish began to tell in 1989, and this year it is a disaster in progress. In Cincinnati, Barry Sanders stars. The National Geographic Society has protested the names Bengals and Lions for these toothless teams. Except for Barry, who was back to form. Sanders, 27 yards on that last play. It's graphically illustrated, 23rd 100-yard game. He becomes Detroit's all-time leading rusher, and then some. Detroit up 9-6 in the second, make it 17-6. The Bengals then awaken James Francis with a rebound of an intercept, and he could go all, most, or a significant portion of the way. Well, it's 66 yards for the score. So it's 19-13 Lions, and Boomer has a final bid, 4th and 10. But it bounces harmlessly away, and don't forget the Motor City. Esiason, meanwhile, just 12 of 25 for 64, 2 intercepts. Lions warm up for Turkey Day versus Dallas. Sanders now at 52.02 career yards for the Lions, 96 more than Billy Sims, and 52.02 more than George Plimpton. In the first half, Barry outgained the Bengals team 101-41. Dan?
With their win last Sunday in the Hoosier Dome, the Patriots were able to shed their winless tag, but the hapless one still remains. New England leads the NFL in turnovers, sacks allowed, and points allowed. Jets coach Bruce Conslett didn't have to be reminded about taking the Pats for granted. Last year, his Jets gave the Colts their only win of the season to Foxborough. And in Scott they trust. Zolak, the former Maryland Terrapin, his second NFL start, finds John Vaughn, that Michigan Wolverine, obviously pumped up after that 13-13 tie against Ohio State. That would set up a field goal, and Zolak is pumped. It's 10-0 Pats. 4th and 8, Jets 36. Zolak under Grace, under pressure, finds Marv Cook. Zolak does a little shimmy. That set up John Vaughn, gone from 9 yards out. 17-0 Patriots. Vaughn 110 yards, and Zolak once again is pumped up. 24-3, the final. John Vaughn, the star. Zolak, the star. The crowd of just under 28,000, the smallest in the league this season. New England held the Jets to 166 total yards, getting 4 sacks and 2 INTs. We pause for this subtle reminder. Following the Monday night contest with our good friends, flip on over. Keith and I will update you on the day's top stories, as well as post-game interviews and analysis from the Superdome. Still to come on SportsCenter, Michael knocks on Charles' door in Phoenix to show not only his offense, but also his defense. The rest of the NBA coming up. Also on the way, our Sunday night conversation with Lawrence Taylor. Is he done for good? You might be surprised at his answer.
Tee off with great golf courses of the world. 3 golf-filled videos for only $19.95 each. Each video features hole-by-hole descriptions, exciting golf highlights, local flavor, fascinating history, and tips from golf's greatest players.
In this program, we hope to show you what gives golf in Scotland its special challenge.
This golf course wasn't formally designed.
It evolved over hundreds of years. Pebble Beach is more than a golf course. It's a place, a state of mind.
Every time I come to Pebble Beach, I can hardly wait to get to this spot. The second shot at the 431 yards, 8th hole.
Golf in Ireland is a total experience. An unforgettable trip to Ireland's most famous links and hidden treasures. Great golf courses of the world. 3 great videos for only $19.95 each. Perfect for the golf traveler or the devoted spectator.
East Powerhouse, Connecticut takes on Purdue in the Starter Tip-Off Classic. Live Saturday afternoon at 1 Eastern. ESPN.
Informed that there was only one bowl scout in the stands for his snow-swirled upset of Washington yesterday and that guy was looking at the Huskies. Washington State quarterback Drew Bledsoe said, "You're kidding. We better go to a bowl, and it better be a good bowl." It's a Copper Bowl. The organizers of the Tucson event on December 29th will pit the 8-3 Cougars versus 6-5 Utah. Another bowl acceptance Sunday night, and also Pack versus WAC. Fresno State, in what Coach Jim Sweeney says is a dream come true, will go to Anaheim that same night, 29th, for the Freedom Bowl, most probably against USC. The Cougars finally sprang into the polls at the 21st hole, but the top was pretty static. Bama, Florida State, and Notre Dame idle this weekend. No change in the top 4, with Miami now a 61-1 leader in first place votes over number 2 Alabama. Washington's intrastate loss sank them. The X numbers 1 are 12th now. The Irish vault up from 7-5 because last week's number 6 Michigan had, in the immortal words of ESPN Radio's Dan Davis, they had their first tie in a week. Dan?
Chicago coach Phil Jackson likes to hand out books to his players to read on road trips. The one he's picked out for Michael Jordan is Gambling and How to Win in Las Vegas. Michael trying to win in Phoenix Sunday night as the defending champs, trying to bounce back following Friday night's loss in Los Angeles. Here's Michael, who had 40 on the night. Here's Charles, who had 22 on the night. But it was more Michael than Charles, as Michael pulls up and hits nothing but the bottom of the net. And then it's Barkley going strong to the hole, past Horace Grant, the kiss off the glass, and then Michael took over. He had 28 first-half points. The degree of difficulty, you decide yourself. Inside, outside, 1 on him, 2 on him, surrounded, it didn't matter. He did everything, not only on offense, but also on defense. The turnaround on Cedric Ceballos. And guess who's coming to dinner? Michael says, "Get it out of here," to Cedric Ceballos. These guys had a pretty good road trip. Got stung, though, in the Forum on Friday night, where Michael had over 50. You know, he's had over 40 points 146 times in his career. That includes the playoffs. Michael once again does the damage in this one. We go to the Meadowlands for the Nets and Warriors, and another big night for the Dragon, Drazen Petrovic.
Great job by Petro, too, here on D. Oh! Gotta love it!
Took it right out of his hand. Drazen on the drive.
Oh! Feed the bully! That's a bada-binga!
Golden State had a big passing night from Billy Owens, 15 assists. The dish to Chris Mullin. And then Mullin to Hardaway. A little hang time over Chris Dudley. And then watch Mullin. High off the glass, the friendly kiss. He had 34. 17 field goals, 17 of 28 from the floor. Hardaway, 27 points, 15 assists. The Nets' third straight home loss. Derek Coleman, 19 points, but just 5 of 19 from the floor. The league's lone unbeaten squad tried to stay that way for another night. The Blazers hosted the Pistons. Detroit came in averaging the fewest points in the league. Portland led by 13 at halftime. The Nuggets brought a 9-game Forum losing streak into Sunday night's encounter. L.A. fresh off stinging the world champs on Friday night. Denver, one of 3 teams who have allowed more points per game than the Lakers. If it happens in the NBA, you can see it on the NBA Today. Every Tuesday at 6 Eastern, this Tuesday's show will feature Shaquille O'Neal, New York City tour guide. In our breakdown segment, we will take a closer look at Minnesota's opportunistic defense. They did it once again, and again, and again.
Last year, we started a tradition here at Walmart.
Thank you.
One special morning a year, when we donate a portion of what you spend to local charities.
Thank you.
This Friday, from 7 to 10 a.m. is that very special morning.
Thank you.
So now, besides great savings, you've got another reason to get out of bed early.
Thank you.
And these are pretty nice reasons.
Here's where Alka-Seltzer Plus fights tough colds. With tough congestion. Tough aches. Tough sore throat.
This is why you need a tough medicine. Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine. The leading cold pill only relieves congestion, but Alka-Seltzer Plus relieves congestion, sore throat, headache, body aches. That's tough medicine.
You bet it's tough.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine. It's tough medicine. For a cold with a cough, try Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough Medicine.
Welcome back to the show. Now to break down for you. Following Sunday's win over the Browns, Minnesota linebacker Jack Del Rio said, "I don't know if our defense actually expects to score on every play in every game, but we realize it's possible on every play. It's a great feeling to be part of the feeding frenzy." The Minnesota D, it's been nearly letter perfect as a result. It's the topic of tonight's breakdown. Week 9 in Chicago. It's good to be good. Also good to be lucky. Del Rio picks off Jim Harbaugh and goes 84 yards for the score. The D also had another touch that night. Week 10 in Tampa. Watch the upper right. Blitzing linebacker Carlos Jenkins causes Steve DeBerg to step up where Al Noga sticks him. Jenkins picks it up, goes 22 yards. They also had another score that day. Last week, 3 down linemen as the play starts. They drop back into coverage. The all-out blitz. Anthony Parker, a 58-yard fumble return. Then, today, the blitz coming. Todd Philcox opts for the quick out. Bavaro should have had it. Audrey McMillan takes it back 25 yards for the score. Their best offense is their defense. The Vikings have now won 14 of their last 15 games in which their defense has scored a touchdown. They have at least 1 interception in their last 11 games. They've held their last 6 opponents to 17 points or less. This year's numbers have risen dramatically since the addition of Dennis Green. The Vikes visit the Rams coming up next Sunday.
From one great defense to a flock of them, some offenses to constituting what we like to call today's best. They put the special in special teams. The 92-yard kickoff return, Dave Meggett, shaking, baking, rattling, rolling, doing it in slow motion. Part of the score fest against Philadelphia. But Meggett never stopped him. Third quarter by Sikahema, same game, returning a punt. And the defense, the Giant defense, certainly never could stop him. 87 yards and a touchdown out of that one. To Buffalo, Roman Fortin, to Tony Smith, to Deion Sanders. 73 yards with a touchdown. And, of course, this clinched the ball game for Atlanta. No, they lost, that's right, by a lot. And then Dale Carter in the Sunday night game, 86 yards. The return versus Seattle as Kansas City pulls off the Sunday night victory. We call them today's best. And our today's best carrying club, the 100-yard rushers, Kenneth Davis of the Bills, Barry Foster again, Ricky Waters, Barry Sanders again, Sherman, Bennett, Dickerson, Butts, Thomas, a crowd, 10 of them. That's like 1,000 yards. The top quarterbacks, there are no 300-yard passers today. Repeat, there are no 300-yard passers. And your best catches among the receivers, your best catch, Wendell Davis of the Bears, in a losing effort against the Packers. A break now, but coming up, the Sunday conversation. TJ with LT about the G-Men and his own legacy.
All the time when I was younger, or, you know, when I was the man, I would say to myself, I am the man. No one will defeat me out there. I will beat, you know, everyone.
A dragon with horns. It's a blue whale and with wings that's a dragon in the ocean with no ears. A dog, a snake, a beautiful
The new Isuzu Trooper has been completely redesigned to include a sunroof as large as a child's imagination.
angels.
A Big Mac and a Diet Coke, please.
Get the extra value meal. It's only $2.99, plus you get fries.
We'll just have some of yours.
No, I order fries because I want fries. They're mine, not yours. If you want fries with dinner, get your own.
McDonald's Big Mac Extra Value Meal for just $2.99. That's right, $2.99 for a delicious Big Mac, medium Coke Classic, and, of course, a large order of our world-famous fries.
Mom, could I have some of my fries?
Thanks, honey. But I'll just have some of your father's.
McDonald's tonight.
The puck drops here. National Hockey Night on ESPN. Friday afternoon, a special edition of the NHL. It's a heated Adams Division rivalry as Ray Bork leads the Bruins against the Whalers. Friday afternoon at 1 Eastern, live on ESPN.
The NHL's version of Shaquille O'Neal was at home Sunday night entertaining the Sabres. Over the past 8 days, Eric Lindros and his Flyer teammates have beaten the Rangers in the Garden, ended Montreal's 12-game unbeaten streak in the Forum, but they limped out of Boston after suffering a loss on Saturday night. Lindros, a rough night for him. Here's what happened. Here's the reason why he was face first. The hit on Peter Svoboda, watch closely, it appears that he got hurt when he and Svoboda tried to get untangled. Helped off the ice with a sprained left knee. He will be examined with further tests on Monday. He would say later, "I'm okay," in the dressing room. That's Mark Recchi. Dominique Roussel, not okay. It's 2-1 Philly. Alexander Mogilny on the breakaway beats Roussel. Mogilny's second of the game, 15th on the year. Sabres up 4-3, closing seconds. Len Barry just called up for the minors. His first NHL goal. And we're tied at 4. That is the way it would end. The Sabres' road winless streak reaches 7. Once again, Eric Lindros will have more tests on Monday, but they said that it was a sprained left knee. There is a possibility he could miss at least 1 week, maybe even 2 weeks. But once again, he would say afterwards, "I'm okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be." The Caps out to put an end to Quebec's 7-game unbeaten streak. You can't play the game without sticks or pucks. Matt Sundin, good with both. 1-0 Nordiques as he dishes to Alexei Gusarov, beats Jim Rivnik. 23 seconds later, Martin Rushinsky to Alexei Kovalenko, Rivnik, Kovalenko. Capitals would not be held down for long. They would score 3 of their own. Mark Hunter, pass Stefan Fiset. And then watch Mark Hunter, his 4-3 Caps, slaps the stick of Kerry Huffman, makes the pass to Paul McDermott, 5-3 Nord, Fiset a sieve. It was Capitals actually going up 5-3 and then holding on to pick up the victory 6-4. Washington ends their 4-game losing streak. Matt Sundin is the only player in the league to score at least 1 point in every game this season. The Islanders renewed what used to be a great rivalry in the 70s. As they hooked up with Edmonton, they led 2-1 in the first. Vladimir Malakov feeds Pierre Turgeon, and then it's 3-2. Isles, Brent Gilchrist, Josef Buranek puts it in. Scott LaChance comes in. Pierre Turgeon scores. We go into overtime tied at 5 under 2 minutes to play. Several chances. Uwe Krupp, Pat Flatley, Benoit Hogue. They can't convert, and this game would end in a tie. Turgeon with the hatter. The Islanders still have not won in Edmonton since 1983-84 season. The Oilers 7-0-3 in their last 10 meetings against the Islanders.
Thank goodness there's somebody named Scott LaChance. You can run out of superlatives trying to describe Monica Seles' ever-increasing domination of women's tennis, but as Monica's latest blitzkrieg concluded in New York, Martina Navratilova found the right words, and they were, "I quit." Finals of the tourney, and Martina is Monica's last victim. That is the word. Monica showed off more winning varieties than they have at the dog show. Line forehand, two-hand backhand rip, cross-court rip. All right, let her hit the ball. Okay, then destroy her on the return. Knock one cross card off over a racket. Another two-handed backhander down the line. Touch at the net down the line. The traditional impossible shot and an overhead guided missile. Martina's either saying she's not worthy or she just saw Andre Dawson in the crowd. 7-5, 6-3, 6-1 Seles the final. And for Martina, final is the right word for it. She made an announcement after the match.
I do think my time has come. I think next year will be my last year playing singles, so I don't know if I'll be around again.
So the torch and the big trophy are both passed. Martina will play 1 more year of singles. The victory earned Seles a check for $750 grand, $500,000 bonus included, putting her year's returns to $2.5 million. She's 19 years old. At Frankfurt, ATP Championships. Happy 25th birthday, Boris Beck. Ha ha, trick candles. Blow them out, racket boy. Against world number 1 Jim Courier, serving out of the near court. Check this return. To Courier's disbelief, it is in. 6-4 the first set, Becker. Now Courier serves out of the far court, little drop volley, and then the passer from Becker, and a monster. 6-3 the second set, Becker. Third set, Becker. Huge serve. Courier handles that, but then he falls right on his rankings, and there we leave him. 25 years old. Boom Boom responded to the crowd, having serenaded him with happy birthday by taking his first victory in the event since it moved to his native Germany in 1990. Boris says he's playing better now than at any other time in his career. Dan.
Last season, Michigan's Chris Webber made a bigger impact than any other freshman in the country. The player who was expected to make the biggest splash this year is Purdue's Glenn Robinson. The 6'9" forward sat out last season due to academic troubles. He was considered by many to be a better high school player than Webber. Robinson had his coming out party on Sunday against the Russian national team. First half, Robinson will turn it over. He steals the ball back, gets it back, and gets hacked in the act, and it counts. Second half, Mark Painter in one of the prettiest highlights you will see. Robinson says, I can do it myself if I have to. The steal, and then lays it in. 2 of his 31. You want more? You got more, even if you don't want more. If you're the Russian national team, you certainly didn't. Glenn Robinson, I think he's going to be a pretty good player. What do you think? 80-72 the final. The Boilermakers shot 57% from the floor. They open their regular season next Saturday against Connecticut in the Hall of Fame Classic. Iowa taking on Marathon Oil, and Tom Davis saying, I'm glad to have my upperclassman back. A.C. Earl, he's been there for 8 years. At least it seems like that. He had 25. Val Barnes for 3 if you're scoring at home. Good. He had 19. Chris Street.
Nice pass there by Murray.
The kiss off the glass, 114-94. Not as close as the final score would indicate. Marathon Oil hitting a few threes down the stretch. In fact, they had 15 three-pointers, but to no avail because A.C. Earl is there with 25. Coming up, our Sunday night conversation. LT, plenty of time on his hands, but is he coming back for another time?
I don't want to be forced out of the game for any reason, and I won't allow this to force me out of the game.
It's gone. But it isn't.
Now you can get strong medicine in a cough drop.
It's gone, but it's still working.
Medicine so effective, the drop keeps working even after it's gone. It's extra strength Vicks, with a full dose of Vicks vapor medicine in every drop to relieve your cough and help your scratchy throat and stuffy nose feel better. Extra strength Vicks, so strong it keeps working even after the drop is gone.
It's still working.
Strong. To win, you've got to be smart. Maybe you can be one of us, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Are annual credit card fees sending you through the roof? Carry the card that charges no annual fee and stay on firm financial ground. It pays to discover.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime. For relief without alcohol, hit the box, not the bottle.
For years, the Toyota truck has stood alone. No longer. Introducing the Toyota T100. Built from the same tough stuff as our compact, only bigger, with more room for 3 inside, and an 8-foot bed, with 4 feet between the wheel wells. Now, when it comes to Toyota trucks, the difference is even bigger.
In the final game of their Hall of Fame careers, Franco Harris gained 3 yards on 3 carries. O.J. Simpson rushed for 12 yards on 2 carries. Gale Sayers gained 8 yards on 5 carries. Lawrence Taylor may have ended his career with a 1-sack performance against the Packers. The game's all-time sack leader has begun rehabbing his injured Achilles tendon and already begun dropping hints about a possible return. Tom Jackson sat down with LT this week for our Sunday evening conversation.
There's a lot of guys who has more speed than I do. There's a hell of a lot more guys that are stronger than I am. Guys that are quicker. I think it's great to have all the tools. The man who has the most is a guy who has the tools and knows how to use them, how to use his heart and not allow himself to be defeated. You know, I used to all the time when I was younger, or, you know, when I was the man, I would say to myself, I am the man. No one will defeat me out there. I will beat, you know, everyone. I don't care if they put 3, 4, 5 people on me. I will find a way to get through it. And I condition myself to think like that.
better than this.
You come into this league, and I think we all come in scared. Did you come in to this league fairly nervous about it? And at some point, you have to realize that you're special. When did that happen?
I realized I was special, I guess when I was young, and my mother walked in the house and she spanked the other two kids and didn't get me. I must be special. No, I've been able to do a lot of different things. And I tell you, my rookie year when I came into the league, things came a little bit easier than I thought it would. I was made, Defensive Player of the Year that year, and everyone said that I was playing so great, and I really thought, honestly to myself, I didn't know exactly what was going on, how the defense is supposed to be played, and I was just doing what was natural, and I felt, hey, maybe I can play this game, or maybe I've brought the game to another level.
Assess LT's career up to this point and what this game has meant to you and what you have meant to it.
My career has been very good. I can take my credentials and lay them aside anyone's and be very proud of myself. There's been some good times, some bad times, of course, like anybody else. But I'm very happy with it. I cannot complain about anything. I've done all that there is to do as a defensive player, and I'm very proud of myself.
You said you were going to retire earlier this year. What was on your mind when you said that?
Retirement.
I mean, were you certain at the time that you said that?
Oh, yeah. I thought that, it was time for me to go. I felt that at that particular time I really wasn't really into football as much as I used to be.
To see him go down and his expression on his face, I couldn't really hold it.
I told myself I would not really make a decision, would not even try to beat it over and over in my head. I would allow myself to get the ankle ready, 100% healed. That way I would have a two-way go. I would have a choice to make decision A or decision B. I wouldn't, if I decided to myself that, hey, I do not want to play any more football, then people would not be able to say, well, the ankle forced them out of the game. And if I decide I want to come back, then I come back. But I don't want to be forced out of the game for any reason, and I won't allow this to force me out of the game.
Injuries and pain are nothing new to Taylor. 1987, he pulls a hamstring chasing Randall Cunningham. LT makes the play. 1988, playing with a severe shoulder injury, he has 10 tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles against the Saints. 1989, he suffers a hairline fracture in his right leg and returns to the field 6 days later. Now for his greatest and perhaps last trick. LT wants to play again this year.
I would like to come back and play one more game this year. One more. I would love to. I could leave the way I wanted to leave. I could leave football the way I wanted to leave. And I think it'll be a great end to the story. He goes down, won't come back, career may be over, able to come back and play that last game of the season, or wherever they go, towards the end of the season, be able to play. My career would be complete. I would have left this game on my feet.
If your leg was to heal and be perfect for you again, would you consider playing for anybody other than the New York Giants?
Wow.
Ew, wow. And again, that's a long way off, and that's way back in there, but...
That's a dirty question. That's a dirty question. What I consider, I would say this, and I'm gonna leave it like this. I played here 12 years with the New York Giants. This is basically my home. This is where I enjoy, this is where my bread is buttered at, and this is where I made the name LT. You know, I was Lawrence Taylor before I got here. Now I am still Lawrence Taylor, but added LT.
The Redskins will go into the Dome a 4-point underdog. As for the G-Men, they will be an underdog against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. They'll probably be without Sean Landeta, their punter, and perhaps Jeff Hostetler. Here are all the numbers from the NFL. Keith and I back with the plays of the week. Keith didn't hear me the first time, so I have to repeat it. Still to come on the show, the plays of the week. There, Keith.
Fire is one of your home's worst enemies. That's why homeowners across America are choosing American Semwood for Class A fire-safe roofing products. A patented process combines wood fiber and cement into a unique roofing product that is lightweight and beautiful. An American Semwood roof will not only enhance the value and appearance of your home, it also protects it. In fact, it has a 50-year warranty. For the beauty of wood and the fire protection of cement, call American Semwood today.
Price is a good one. Got the price I was after. TV I was looking at is almost $100 cheaper.
I like to be really careful with my money, so I like to shop around. Figured out what I wanted, came here, and they took care of me.
Best price I've been quoted, I saved about $100.
Prices are number one on my list. It's about 12% less, but that 12% is like 50% to me.
The price is right. Well, their price is absolutely the best.
The coming attraction, the movie trailer. So among those you won't see this week, Gary Cooper of Pride of the Yankees and the 1991 Astros, Shaquille and Tatum O'Neal, and of course, Uma Thurman-Thomas.
You won't see Tom or former Dodger pitcher Tim Cruz, Woody or the Eagles' Eric Allen. We ask that you save us 2 seats on the aisle for the plays of the week.
I suggest you look outside that window.
Now he goes deep. Caught! Touchdown!
You might think that Dracula is scary, but Sean Kemp is a monster down low.
Hangs it tipped away. It goes right through Kemp. Shot clock at 5. Gage with a nice pass for Kemp.
Shaquille O'Neal has been a terror on the court this season.
Make no mistake, he must be stopped.
Dan, what about this?
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
They can only try to catch this kid, but we can catch anything.
Hey, why don't you guys try the stairs?
Right. We have athletes who don't need to use stairs to get up.
Almost lost it. Finds Grant streak into the basket over a long way.
Are these good plays?
No, I'm not satisfied.
We'll reverse that notion.
Going, gone!
You can kill Dracula with a wooden stake, but we use wooden sticks.
Ludwig, Bradley, check by Sodine's ball.
We can try to get him around the back.
3-on-1. Oh, look at that pass.
So do you like the plays of the week so far?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Just when you think you've seen the best previews, we've got more.
Throws it back to the quarterback, and Johnson has it. And you can see the blockers in front.
Here's Price in a hurry. From behind, from just in front of it.
Our preview is up, but relax, sir. Our feature presentation premieres next week.
Plays of the Week is delivered by Federal Express. For documents, packages, and freight worldwide, our most important package is yours.
Jonesy?
Uh-huh. What are you doing out there?
Hiding.
Huh?
Mr. Jenkins says the package I sent him didn't get there. He's calling every 5 minutes to yell at me.
It's probably in his mailroom. Just call Federal Express. They'll tell you when it got there and who signed for it so Jenkins can yell at him instead.
All I gotta do is call Federal Express? Great.
Only Federal Express can confirm delivery in seconds. Other companies can take days.
What are you doing back there?
I didn't use Federal Express.
Next time, use Federal Express.
Okay, so these guys may know a little more than we do about Bud. It's the rice.
It's the hops.
It's the rice. But of course, we know a lot about other things.
Hi, can I buy you something to drink? Yeah, like maybe a light beer?
Budweiser.
Or maybe you'd like a Bud.
Someday, boy, you're gonna learn from your mistakes.
Every second of an asthma attack can feel like an eternity. That's why there's Primatene Mist. Primatene opens clogged breathing tubes fast when speed counts. Primatene Mist, fastest type asthma relief without a prescription.
What we need now is the beach.
And the brood. And the babes.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer battery. It keeps going and going.
Two teams rich in college football tradition go head-to-head in an SEC battle. Arkansas plays host to LSU in a special Friday edition. College football on ESPN in a class by itself.
Did you see this Saturday? Fresno State at San Diego State. David Lowery tries to end the half, but Zach Ricks of Fresno nails him, and it's Ali Oxenfree. Mark Koenig with the retaliation, and oh good, they moved closer to the stand, so maybe some of the fans could get involved. There's some guy down there also swinging a helmet. They took care of that swinger pretty easily. Fresno State won 45-41, no ejections. Why not? Marshall Faulk was not involved. They'd taken him out in the first play with a sprain in his right knee. He's questionable for next week. Don't look for Fresno State in the AP Top 25. They do, however, make the WBC Top 10 contender list. Biggest fall, Washington from 5th to 12th. Newcomers, Washington State in at number 21. Brigham Young back at number 25. Speaking of back, we will be momentarily.